Mammoth Caves by Chantal Silva. What is it? The Mammoth Caves are the world's largest cave system. There's 360 miles of underground passages, which are on 5 different levels. There are new passages constantly being discovered. Where is it? It's located in the United States in the southwest corner of Kentucky, about 50 miles northeast of Bowling Green, Kentucky. How was it formed? Around 350 million years ago, our continent was covered by a sea. It was full of creatures that had a shell made of calcium carbonate. As these creatures died, their shells covered the sea floor. Over millions of years, these shells turned into a stone called limestone. The limestone was covered by sandstone, which was being deposited from a large river flowing into the sea. Eventually, most of the sea dried up, leaving behind a system of rivers. The rivers, along with tectonic movement, started forming cracks and passageways in the stone, which is called karst topography. The natural downward movement of water from the rivers have created beautiful vertical shafts, tubular passageways, tapered stalactites and stalagmites, hanging draperies, columns, and fluted shields. Nature taking its course. More passages are being created all of the time as the water continues flowing downward. As the passages continue to grow and thin out the stone, the upper passages grow weak from lack of support and eventually collapse. There are also sinkholes above ground where water is able to get through the sandstone on top and erodes the limestone inside the caves. And it's just nature taking its course and changing all of the time. And here's just another picture of Mammoth Caves. A little bit of history. Evidence has been found that humans were inhabiting the caves some 4,000 years ago and stayed there for about 2,000 years. They used cane torches to light their way. The most evidence has been found in parts of the cave that are lined with gypsum crystals in myriad shapes, which were considered very valuable at that time. They have found footprints from thousands of years ago, which are still undisturbed. They have found clothing, shoes, and torches. And this picture on the top is actually a moccasin that has been found in the caves. They found a body of a miner from about 2,000 years ago, who was crushed by a boulder. The body was still in perfect condition, and they've also found other mummified bodies. Where these people went and why they left is still unknown. You may be wondering how these bodies and items have been so well preserved. It's because the cave's constant temperature and humidity and the nitrous salt that's found in the soil have preserved them over thousands of years. The Mammoth Caves were not found by the European settlers until the late 18th century. In 1812, with the discovery of nitre in the cave, the value of the cave rose tremendously. It was purchased for $116.67 and then resold only a few weeks later for $10,000. Slaves were then used to mine the nitre from the cave, and the nitre was very valuable in the making of gunpowder. At this time, the War of 1812 was going on, and one of the British's strategies was to cut off the United States gunpowder supply. So without the nitre from the Mammoth Cave, the results of the war could have been very different. Not long after, in 1816, tours were provided through the caves while still being privately owned, this making it one of the oldest tourist attractions in the United States. It wasn't until 1941 that the Mammoth Cave became a national park. It is still a highly frequented tourist attraction with not only the caves but also waterfalls, hiking trails, campgrounds, and beautiful scenery and wildlife.